A very good morning. It's Mark here. Monday, May the 4th, 7:14 a.m. Eastern, 11:14 a.m. GMT. Uh, Good hour till US session gets started and underway. Let's have a look how the markets shape up to start the new trading week. US dollar index starting on the front foot, green candlestick. I've got support at 97.98. I've got resistance at 98.34. The open was at that 98 tough support level, the 98. Buyers did protect that level once again. And going into the US session, US dollar looking like demand for US dollar and looking to test that 98.34 on the upside. If we do get a turnaround from strong US dollar, which is the way we're starting the week, to weak US dollar and a turnaround once the US session gets underway, sellers will look to bounce down off this level, off this area, and look back down to the 98 or below. But strong US dollar to start the new trading week. Let's have a look at the S&P 500. We're looking at the futures market for now. Still a good 2 hours until Wall Street opens up. There you can see initially sell-off in the futures market, support at 7,210, but there has been a fight back. Looks like a continuation of demand for US equities, which have really been in a strong run and having a particularly strong run. I've got resistance at 7,270. We'll see whether buyers maintain at this level, whether there is demand for US equities again. Buyers perhaps even break higher than the current resistance and look to continue the strong bull run. If there's going to be a turnaround, sellers will look to bounce down off this resistance area, looking back down at the 7,200 on the downside. Let's have a look at gold. And here we see the inverse relationship playing out. Strong US dollar, which we saw translating to weak gold. I've got resistance at 4,619. I've got support at 4,519. That's already a $100 range. Tough level, this 4,500 support area. You can see buyers did step in a bounce up off this current intraday support. We'll see if that can be maintained or added to, and if buyers can get back up to that 4,600 or higher. Let's have a look at Brent oil. And there you see still trading well above what was the original dividing line for me, that $100, comfortably above that $100 over the last week. Today sitting at, to start the new week, 111.63. I've got support at 106.49. I've got resistance at 114.30. Everything appears to be tilted to the upside for now. Buyers' sentiment, trend, lots of uncertainty relating to both production, supply, in the relating to the Middle East conflict, to the war going on. We'll see if buyers add to this today, any new developments, or if just the momentum continues higher and up, and if buyers look to test this 114.30, very high close. You can see that going back to all the way back to the start of the war at the end of February. We'll see whether this does continue. We do get higher, a continuation of the higher highs, higher lows. Alternatively, potentially good news coming out of the Middle East conflict would see a push down by sellers looking down to that support to the 106.49, try to get back to that 100 level, but certainly not the case right now, and a nervous oil market going into the new week. Let's have a look at Bitcoin. Bitcoin had a good week last week. If I zoom out a little bit, you can see how it broke above this 76,000, 77,000 area. Started this week, the new trading week, the Asian going into the European session looked strong all the way up to resistance at 80,560. Buyers not able to hold and maintain that intraday resistance. Sellers have stepped in and bounced down off that resistance level. I've got support at 78,220. You can see that level is relevant. We'll see whether the sell-off does continue. If sellers can break below the 78,000 and push lower, or if we see another bounce up of the support level and buyers look to bounce up off this 78,000 again, get back up to that 80,000 and push for higher. But the trend is up, higher highs, higher lows, but so far unable to maintain at that 80,000 level for now. Good trading, keep that discipline, and I'll see you at the end of day.